here he is. My old friend Chatri Sityodtong is here. How are you, sir?
Good to see you, man. How's it
Pleasure.
going?
Yes, it is so great to have you. Thank you so much for making the trek. Are you here for the duration? Like, are you here for May 5th?
Yeah. I here for a couple weeks of media interviews and some meetings. New York, LA, San Francisco, Silicon Valley, and then to Denver.
Oh my.
Yeah.
This is big.
We're excited.
Yes, I remember going to Extreme Couture. Was it 2018, 2019? You guys had this big media day. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And Rich Franklin
I didn't
was
attend,
there.
but yeah, Rich.
Yeah, it was a big deal because this kind of felt like
pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID,
we
yes.
we were gonna come.
Yes.
I think that following year. Or something like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I remember. And Misha was there, and DJ was there, and Rich was there, and it felt like this is telling the world that one is coming to the U.S. and then of course COVID. So when do you think if it wasn't for COVID, this would have happened when? Like maybe I think 2020, 2019?
Yeah, 2019 was kind of the plan. Like. Right before, COVID hit March of 2020. So 2020, I think several months after that, we were planning, we were already booking venues and stuff like that. And it was, but it is what it is. We're finally here. And like, I'm telling you, man, for me, it's like, I was giving media interviews earlier today, and it's a long time coming. I'm full of gratitude to America because I lived here for over 18 years, many years ago. At one point, I had one suitcase with all my life belongings. My mom lived with me in my dorm at Harvard. I slept on the floor. She slept on the bed in a small little tiny dorm room because she had nowhere else to go. I mean, we were dirt poor, eating one meal a day. And so it's so wild for me to come back to the States and be able to throw this event in Denver. It's just like, not in a million years could this have ever been, a dream of mine. It never was. And it would be impossible. So I'm just full of, I think the biggest feeling I have is just gratitude. I'm just full of gratitude for this whole experience.
That's amazing. I saw you, you actually posted your Harvard ID recently.
Yeah, I found it.
From I think like the late 90s?
I graduated in 1999, yeah.
1999, there it is, right over there. Look at you. Svelte. That's amazing. That guy never would have believed any of this.
No.
What did that guy think, like the future?
That guy had one suitcase and all of his life's belongings.
Wow.
And I mean, I didn't grow up poor. I mean, I grew up in a well-to-do family in Thailand. But my father went bankrupt and then abandoned the family. And then from then on, we had no house, no car, nothing. And it was my mother and myself, and then eventually my younger brother. But yeah, it was just a very tough time in life. And so when I was looking through old boxes, I found the Harvard ID. I'm like, wow, it's a trip.
Yeah.
So for me to come back in, I think this 25 years ago. Yeah, it's so crazy.
How old were you when your father left?
In my early 20s. But the Asian culture is you have to take care of your parents. I mean, that's just part of the Asian culture. As the oldest son, it's my duty. And then the transition happens much later than in the States. Basically, when you're 18, you leave the house. But yeah, I mean, my late teens, early 20s is when I remember my father. Yeah, things didn't go so well in the family.
What did he do?
He was a real estate in real estate business. Yeah,
and he went bankrupt and just left.
Yeah,
one day. Did he say goodbye?
No, he just disappeared.
Really?
Yeah, but I found him. So I didn't talk. I had a lot of anger in me. I didn't talk to him for decades because we just didn't see him.
Yeah.
So and you just have this. But I decided to go look for relatives in Thailand and try to find him. This was in 2015 or 16, around there. So just a few years ago, and I found him, and he was dirt poor, broken, and when you're a kid, you remember your parents in a certain way, and I just remembered him being a young, healthy guy, and he was old and frail and. In his 70s, and he just changes you. Like, wow. But no, I reached out to him because I wanted to resolve it because it's a big family thing. With obviously my mother, and she's held on to a lot of hurt for many years. So it was just one of these things. I wanted to reach out and talk it out. And although he's a man of very few words, but the saddest thing, Errol, is that there was actually no time. He eventually passed away. A couple of years after that. So we never reconciled fully. He did come to visit me in Singapore. And he's the guy that introduced me to Muay Thai. When I was 9 years old, he brought me to Lumpini Stadium, which is the mecca of Muay Thai in Thailand. And as a kid growing up, that was my thing, martial arts. And so it's kind of, you just never know in life how much time we have with our loved ones. And that's why I always say, man, it's really important. My biggest lesson is love truly is everything in life. And, say you're sorry, say I love you to your loved ones, forgive others, forgive yourself. Every human being has their imperfections and mistakes. And sorry, I'm getting kind of emotional about my dad. Yeah.
My heart goes out to you.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear, though, that you are at least able to reconcile a little bit with him, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if you didn't get that opportunity, that would have weighed on you forever.
Definitely.
But
the sad thing is, I would love to have been, brought him to a one championship event. That would have been full circle. Never got a chance. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he is very happy for what you've done and what you're going to accomplish on May 5th. It's a big deal. Why is this important to you, though? Because you guys are doing very well in Asia. You have planted your flag in many different markets. Why do you even need America?
Well, the U.S. market is the world's largest sports market, and to be a truly global property. I mean, obviously we're broadcast on primetime on Fridays, once a month on Amazon. But to be truly global, you have to have live events, live broadcasts on a much regular basis so that it becomes part of, the culture, everyday life, the fandom, all that stuff, right? The last 11 years, we've been very, very lucky. We've built this, big monster of a martial arts machinery, but we just never came to the U.S. It's for one reason or another, and now's the time. So like I said, it's been surreal for me, but also at the same time, I'm just so full of gratitude to be here.
How's it going with Amazon?
Super well. I have a meeting with Marie Donahue, the global head of sports, May 6th. She's coming to the event.
Oh, nice.
To talk about bigger stuff. So we'll see. Knock on wood.
Okay, so everyone's happy. You're happy. They're happy.
I would say exceedingly happy. We've exceeded expectations. We've exceeded the numbers that Amazon had predicted for us. And again, discussions that we're having right now are to deepen and widen the partnership. So we'll see.
When is the initial deal done?
5 years. So it's 5 years as of August last year.
Oh, so you still got a lot.
Yeah. But
it
somehow,
might change. Yeah.
Because the numbers have been very strong. That the conversations now about let's do something bigger and let's do something big.
Is there any particular reason why you chose Colorado for this first event?
Well, our U.S. team obviously went from state to state, and several states have approved the global rule set.
Yeah.
And I think for American mixed martial arts, obviously Colorado has a significance to it. So when all is said and done, we're like, look, the Colorado Athletic Commission was super hungry to get one there. The community was as well, and we thought, it's a historic moment. I mean, obviously, mixed martial arts was born in Asia. It was born in Japan, I think in Shuto, 1983 or 84, around that time. But the American birth was really 1993, and I was living in the States at the time, so it's wild again. But so I think there's a few reasons, but the practical reason is Colorado was quite aggressive. They wanted it, and we said, okay, let's do it.
And so will it be the same rules and same scoring as you?
Yes, everything is the same as what we do in Asia.
Okay.
So knees to a grounded opponent, which we believe that the global rule set is the most superior rule set, and hence why we have a 70% finish rate as an organization versus, again, 35 to 40% for the two other global organizations. But I think American fans, no matter what, are in for a huge treat.
What about the scoring?
So it's the same thing.
Same.
Exactly the same.
Wow.
Everything. So it's a full fight scoring.
Yeah, not the round by round.
And it's based on, near KO, near submission as the number one priority, then damage, and et cetera, et cetera. So there's, that's the beauty. And again, I'm so excited for American fans to watch this because there is no such thing as gaming the system of, last 10 seconds, go for a takedown, lay and pray, win 10-9. There is none of that, in our mixed martial arts product, right? So American fans are the way to think about it is it's one big round as if it was a street fight. Right? It doesn't matter if somebody is, pitter-pattering but if you get massive damage the last 30 seconds of a street fight, you know who won.
Right.
And that's the ethos. Martial arts, the birthplace of martial arts was Asia, right? Has been Asia. 5,000-year history. And why was martial arts invented in the first place? It's to defend yourself against an enemy, against someone coming to your house and mugging you, murdering you, whatever it is. So the point of martial arts is to finish fights. It's not to dance around and play a game.
Right.
So I do feel that the American fans are going to be in for a big treat when they see one on ground on a regular basis. It's going to be you know what? It's just another product that fans can enjoy. You know.
By the way, you mentioned the two other global promotions. Who are those two?
Well, I mean, it's UFC and Bellator. I mean, everyone knows that.
Not PFL.
I think you should take a look at hard facts and numbers. Yeah.
Tell me. Because I saw Don Davis just today post something about his numbers.
Well, let's look at Nielsen. They came with an industry report of the top 20 largest sports media properties.
Mm-hmm.
And they came out with it last year, right? I think about a year ago. Yeah. According to Nielsen, our TV reach, unique reach, meaning viewers who watch one champion, is 400 million plus. I think 409 million. UFC was 259 million. This is global numbers, huh? Mm-hmm. And Bellator was at 11 million. Okay, so those are in the combat sports. Now, they had all the sports properties lined up together.
Yeah.
That's Nielsen. Then, if you are a casual fan, just go to all the social media pages. Look at the number of followers. Look at the engagement rates. Look at the organic video views. UFC, okay, let's just take Facebook, for example. UFC, I think, has about 40 million fans on Facebook. We have 38 million fans on Facebook. Bellator, I think, has 2 million, 3 million. I think PFL has 1 million. Mm. But you got to look at the engagement rates. I mean, that's how you know if you have a real fan base, right? But then if you look from the financials perspective, there's only 2 companies in combat sports globally that have a $1 billion plus valuation, based on investors saying, hey, we looked at all your numbers, looked at all your data, we want to invest, and it is what it is. I mean, that's just, so I would rather look at hard facts and figures, verifiable, and anyone can do this. Just go to Nielsen.com, download the report. They have all the metrics across TV, social media, digital, et cetera, and then instead of rhetoric, right? So
fair. Interesting time in the fight world. WWE sold, Bellator on the market. We'll see what happens. Might be imminent. Would one ever be up for sale? Would you ever,
Never.
Never. You would never consider selling it?
Never.
Someone comes to you with a $9 billion deal like WWE?
Never.
Why not?
Ariel, I'm a lifelong martial artist. I've been doing this since I'm a kid. 38 years of Muay Thai.
I know.
I train every day.
One suitcase, but $9 billion, right off into the sunset. No, it's okay.
Somebody
don't worry.
said no.
A DC, it's all right. He doesn't deserve it anyway.
I'm not here for the money. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it because this is my greatest passion in life. I train Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu every day. I've been doing Jiu-Jitsu for 16 years, Muay Thai for 38 years. This is my passion. This is what I love to do most in life, is martial arts. I'm obsessed. And it's not about money. It's about spreading the beauty of martial arts. It's about showcasing the greatest fighters on the planet across multiple disciplines.
But it is a business, right?
Of course.
Agree?
No, of course. It is a business.
Yeah.
But I
someone
do
offers you a deal you can't refuse. You're set up for life.
No. Okay, so
has someone offered you a great deal? Have people come to you and
say, in the past,
yeah.
In the last 11 years since I founded the company,
right.
We have had times where people came up and said, hey, we'd like to offer, we never engage. We just don't engage in those kind of discussions.
Not even listen.
Okay, Ariel, what would I do? What would I do with a boatload of cash? What would I do?
Be a good life. No stress. People falling out of fights, people, drama, weigh-ins, contracts. Who needs this stress?
Man, this is what I love.
You love it?
I mean, every city I go to, the first thing I do is drop my bags, shower up, and go train. That's what I do. In every city, whether I'm in Tokyo, London, New York, LA, it doesn't matter. That's what this is what I love.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. And again, yes, it has been a crazy roller coaster of a ride. 11 years this journey, but man, you cannot buy. No amount of money can buy this incredible memory and this deep sense of gratitude. I came to America, lived the American dream with a suitcase and all of my life's belongings. And the plan was to immigrate forever in America, bring my mom here and my younger brother. I ended up buying my mom a house, apartment here in New York City. But to go back to Asia, to back to the birthplace of martial arts, and then come back to America, it's just been wild. Like, I'm truly grateful. America is one of the greatest countries on the planet. It gave me an incredible education. It gave me a career. It gave me the financial resources to be able to go back to Asia and live my dream, which is launching ONE.
By the way, speaking of the rules, one last one on that. The weigh-ins. Your weigh-ins are a little bit different. How are they going to be in Colorado?
Same. Everything's the same.
Hydration.
So it's broadcast on YouTube, with all the officials, et cetera. The hydration and the weight, you have to hit both. So basically, one of the, I guess, negatives of combat sports is you see a lot of athletes dropping 15, 20 pounds of water weight, which is very damaging to your body. Just sucking all the water out and then rehydrating 24 hours and then competing. Athletes who've done that system have come onto the ONE system, which is basically we test your hydration through the week and your weight. So meaning that your body has to be healthy. You have to be at your walking weight. You can't manipulate your weight by sucking out the water. So you're obviously going to feel a lot better throughout the whole week, and then when you go compete, and that's kind of the thought process.
Okay, so that will be the same. So, man,
yes. Colorado, everything is the same in Colorado, and actually we have multiple states. So,
are there more American shows planned for this year?
I don't want to comment.
Okay, sounds like maybe.
You're a master at getting facts. You can dig.
In October, when we spoke, it seemed like you didn't want to say just yet about the May debut. Obviously, you're here. And so I'm wondering now if you're committing to 2 or 3 this year in America.
I'll just say that this is the very beginning of the U.S.
Expansion.
Yeah, expansion.
Okay.
And we have some very serious discussions going on right now. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. I truly believe that we have an outstanding, unique, differentiated product as the home of martial arts, something very authentic, but we showcase the very best martial arts across the different disciplines. So, Denver, next week on Friday, American fans are going to enjoy the very best strikers on the planet, the very best grapplers on the planet, the very best mixed martial arts on the planet, and you get all in one show. So it's like the Olympics of martial arts, okay? And that's just something very unique. And our production value is very unique. It's very Asian mixed martial arts of origin. So it's just a very unique flavor of martial arts. And I think, what's crazy, right, is we announced the date, I think back in January, the marketing team announced a date, put up a ticket link, and maybe a couple fights. Within a week and a half, we were 70% sold out.
Wow. And
then, we sold out the venue several weeks ago, and now I'm kicking myself because I told our team, we have no fan base in America. We're still relatively new, which is true. We're a brand new brand. So I said, this is before when we're planning this thing, right? I said, hey, let's just choose a small 7,000 capacity, as opposed, and the team was like, no, let's go for 15,000, 20,000 seater, et cetera, et cetera. I said, guys, let's build in slowly. And so obviously I'm kicking myself now that we sold out several weeks in advance. But at the same time, I think it's a good thing because then you can build on that, right?
Sure.
If the demand is there. So we gave us confidence. It obviously gave Amazon confidence. It gave all of us like, hey, wow, we didn't realize we had a fan base in the U.S. having never been here before, right?
Well, the card is great, and you've got one of the greatest of all time, that man, Demetrious Johnson, who was here last Wednesday. And he's listen, I don't know if he's become a tremendous promoter or not, but he's definitely added some spice to this all, because just the prospect of this potentially being his last fight, as he talked about on this show and other shows, to me makes it must-see TV, right? If this is truly the last time we can see Demetrious, you got to watch, because I think he's top 5 greatest of all time.
I think he's the greatest of all time, and I'm not saying that purely because he's at one. When he was at UFC, I also thought that he was the greatest of all time, and here's why. Okay? You strip away the credentials and just look at his pure skill set as a martial artist. You look at his striking game, you look at his wrestling game, you look at his submission game, you look at his cage work, you look at his transitions. Then you look at the athletic attributes, his speed, his explosiveness, his fight IQ. You look at his balance. He never loses balance, a beat. And then you put in all the accolades. He won the title of the 2 biggest organizations in the world. Yes, he got knocked out by Adriano in the first fight, but he redeemed himself a year later, knocked out Adriano. Nobody has his body of work or body of accomplishments. I mean, I think he still has the record in the UFC for the most title defenses, I think, right? So, something like that. But again, look at the skill set. Forget the marking on all the rhetoric, because every organization has its own strengths when it comes to marketing. You have to strip it out and say, look, just look at what you see. And again, maybe I'm judging it purely from a lifelong martial artist, so I can see things that other people may not be able to see. But if I just named all those attributes, and if you know nothing about mixed martial arts, or it's the same thing. If you know nothing about basketball, you look at Michael Jordan, the way he moves, right? You just do the highlight reel, and you're like, this guy moves different.
Yeah.
He's Michael Jordan.
Do you believe, though, that this is the end?
I was shocked when DJ came out. And so I don't like it. I don't like to hear when athletes say they're going to retire, because if that's in your mind and you're going into a fight, it's not a great place. Now, but DJ is, again, the GOAT, so maybe he has the right to say it, but I'm like, wow, against your toughest adversary in your whole career, that's a scary place for DJ to be. But again, I haven't spoken to him at all, but I was very shocked. So, but knowing DJ, and I know him quite well, he speaks his mind, he speaks the truth. So if he's really genuinely saying this is likely his last fight, it probably is his last fight.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if he wins, I don't know, maybe that's a good thing or a bad thing for him. If he wins, maybe he wants to get another. But just the idea that we are approaching the end makes me sad. The card is great, like I said. You got Rotang on it. You've got Stamp Fairtex on it. You've got Sage Northcutt coming back. You have Roberto Soldic, who obviously we were very excited about the debut. Like, what are you thinking? You get this big fish, this massive free agent. He signs with you, and then it ends with a nut shot like that. Like, your heart, does it just sink?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. A horrible feeling, right?
It's a terrible feeling. That being said, Murad Ramazanov, is a Dagestani killer. If you ask anybody in Russia or in Dagestan, he's the #1 middleweight by far in the country, okay? He fought at welterweight because of our hydration system, right? Even though technically on an apples-to-apples basis because of walking weight. So DJ would fight at 135 on fight day in the UFC, even though he weighed in at 125, right? Because he's cutting the water weight. So I always look at fight day, what do you weigh? That's the real measure of a competition. So Murad Ramazanov, undefeated Dagestani, he's a killer wrestler. You can ask Khabib, anybody about him in the Dagestani circuit, this guy's a killer. He goes up against Roberto, who's, arguably the hottest free agent in many years. And I was pumped for this fight, because I'm like, man, if Roberto can show dominance over a world-class wrestler like that, then he's really going to be one of the greatest of all time. If Murad, who's undefeated, shows dominance over a stud like Roberto, then wow, Roberto's a 2-division KSW champion. But I think, again, stripping away all the marketing, stripping all the belts, you look at Roberto, he is a specimen. He hits like a monster truck, one punch power like I've never seen before. He has 85%, 90% KO rate. He moves again he's DJ-esque. His balance, his speed, his explosiveness. He's just he's magical. That's the way I would describe him. When I first saw him train, because when we were when he had offers from UFC and Bellator and we were considering an offer, I said, come here and come to Singapore and let me see you train. Then he came in here and we hung out. I saw him train, and that's when I'm like, my goodness, this guy. Then I remember I texted GSP, George, who's a friend. I said, hey, George, what do you think about Roberto? He's like, this guy is a killer, Chatri. Because they trained it together at TriStar.
Yeah.
And well, I won't say all the backstories at TriStar, but Roberto put the hurt on a lot of the top athletes there.
And then so you give him this big deal and it ends like that, but now we get him back. So it'll be okay.
And I think it's a more fun matchup especially for American fans, because his opponent, Sebastian Kadestam, also has like an 80-90% KO rate. So you have 2 KO strikers who are genuinely, in my opinion, pound for pound, the best Europeans, full stop, today on the planet. So you get 2 big KO, one-punch KO knockout artists an American card, because Americans love striking. That's
Right,
one
of
thing that's and then, on this card, you have Rotang versus Edgar Tabares. Edgar Tabares is a current WBC world champion in Muay Thai. Rotang is the current world champion in Muay Thai. And both guys like to bang, and it's Cinco de Mayo. So you get a lot of, Mexican Americans cheering, but they're going to see striking. When you say, like, hey, Floyd Mayweather, greatest striker, and he is a great, phenomenal striker. I'm not going to take that away from Floyd under the rules of boxing, but he's had 50 fights. A good boxer will have 20, 30 fights. Elite world championship. Rotang is approaching 400 professional fights in Muay Thai, and he's 23, 24.
That's insane.
Yeah, because in Thailand.
Yeah.
Muay Thai is not just it's the national heritage, the national treasure of Thailand, and everyone starts from a young age, and those who excel end up becoming professional fighters. I mean, because you start, typically your first professional fight in Thailand is 7, 8 or 9 years old, around that range, and then if you're really good, it keeps going.
Where do we stand with Francis Ngannou?
So Francis, we've been in discussions. I like Francis. I think he brings a lot to the table. I think that he'll have a tough time in our heavyweight division, to be very frank, which I've said publicly, and I think it's a big challenge for Francis. When you look at a guy like Anatoly Malikin, he's 12-0, was a former Russian national team wrestler, one-punch KO power. He's 12-0 with a 80% finish rate. That is the worst nightmare to face against a big striker like Ngannou. But at the same time, Francis has an X factor. He is a giant monster, and so he has a bunch of offers on the table. He's waiting for our final offer.
Oh,
we have given him. I don't know. My team did it, but I'm going to meet Francis this Saturday.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Where?
L.A.
In LA,
Yeah.
You're going to meet, and is that when you expect to give him a final offer?
Well, he and I will sit down and talk.
Okay.
And I mean, for sure, one can give him the biggest offer on the table out of all his bids, but it has to work for him. It has to work for us. Everything's got to be
sure.
And I just believe that meeting somebody, you get the you get the energy, you get the kind of like.
There's a thing now where a lot of people are saying that he messed this up. I saw Dave Feldman of BKFC saying, he's pricing himself out. And you see this guy, boxing guys saying like, he's in for a rude awakening. And, the UFC guys out there being like, he should have taken their offer. Do you believe that he has misplaced his hand?
I think there's going to be big news on Francis, shortly. And I think he's taking his time. He's very, from the few interactions I've had with Francis, he's very thoughtful and methodical and careful.
Very much.
Right? And at the same time, he's a very principled man. That's one thing I've learned about him. He's a very he does things on principle. And a dollar here, a dollar there won't sway him. It's principles. And that's what's very admirable about him, by the way. It's at the same time, I do believe the world is his oyster. I do believe he's a big pay-per-view draw in boxing or in MMA. Of course, it has to be the right opponent, right? I think that Francis will run through the heavyweight division of all the other organizations. The only heavyweight division that will give him a challenge, even think of, let's say, a rising star like Buchecha. I think he's 5-0 or 6-0 in one. He is arguably the greatest grappler of all time. Right? He's a 13-time, 14-time jiu-jitsu world champion. He's run through all the opponents. That kind of style and he's an incredible wrestling. That kind of style is a nightmare for Francis, right? And that's just a rising star within the heavyweight division. I'm talking, if you look at the cream of the crop, it's versus, again, I've looked at the other heavyweight divisions, not to knock other organizations. I'm just saying, again, looking at the skill sets of heavyweight division. And typically, again, in mixed martial arts, the heavyweight division has always been a weaker spot globally, right? It's because whereas the lower weight classes, the technique level, the athleticism, everything is because in heavyweight division, if you have one big punch, you can end the fight and not necessarily be the very best in the world.
Would you be okay with him boxing as well, or would you want him exclusive?
Well, if we did boxing, we would be a co-promoter with him.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of the big differences at one versus, again, I'll use UFC as a comparison point, is at one, we offer multiple disciplines, right? So it's not just mixed martial arts, right? So we have done a WBC boxing world title fight before in one, right? This is in 2017 or 2018. So, and it was, it was regular one show. You saw the Muay Thai, you saw the grappling, you saw the MMA, blah, 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 and we had a boxing world title fight. So, the platform we've built, really, we want just the very, very best fighters on the planet. And this is what drew Roberto. I said to Roberto, you have so much talent, you could actually win a kickboxing world title. You can win boxing. You can win, MMA. Why be restricted only to one organization's rule set and one thing? If you want to be the greatest fighter on the planet, you should be able to fight in multiple rule sets and win everything. Because that truly means you're the greatest combat sports athlete. If you fight in only a very refined rule set, then you're the best in that rule set. So, again, let's use Floyd Mayweather. He is arguably one of the greatest boxers in history, But as a striker, is he the best? No, Rotang would destroy Floyd, destroy him. Not even close, okay? Because boxing's a very restricted rule set where you can have a bladed stance, you can do, your hand here, one hand. You get kicked in the head, you get kicked in the legs, you get elbowed in the face, it's over, right? So again, Roberto's dream is to win the world title in MMA in one, win a world title in kickboxing, Muay Thai, and also a boxing world title. Then he's like, Chatri, I have accomplished everything, and I'll be one of one in the realm of combat sports. And I'm like, man, this guy has big, big dreams. It's wild. He said, Chatri, look, he said, Crow Cop, who's his friend and his big brother, Crow Cop was able to do MMA and kickboxing. He said, Chatri, the world is bigger than that. I want to try.
You were giving guys that opportunity. One guy who never got the opportunity and was on my show in December and said he feels like he owes you, he feels like he kind of let you down because of some bad luck here and there, is Gordon Ryan. I don't know if you heard him say that, but he's like, I feel like I owe Chatri, I owe him one because for whatever reason, things didn't materialize. Was there ever any talk of him fighting on this card or competing on this card? Any plans of him being on a one card?
No. Gordon offered, actually kind of funny, Gordon offered to fight for free.
Yeah.
In one. He offered.
Said he felt like he owed you. Yeah.
He DM'd me, I don't know, like several months ago, Chatri, let me fight for free. I'm like, I said, Gordon, I would never take advantage of your kindness. I said, with everything that happened with your stomach issues. So what happened was we signed him and then he had this stomach health issues and it looked like he retired. So he actually retired. And we, didn't put any negative pressure on him. It was supportive, did anything we could help him. So we have a very positive relationship. And then, when I think it was UFC Fight Bash, I don't remember what it was. Yeah. He said, hey, Chatri, I want to compete in the States and you're not doing enough frequency right now. And at the time we hadn't even announced Denver yet, even though I knew we were coming. So I just said, no worries, and et cetera. And then he messaged me after that. He said, Chatri, I'd love to fight, and I would fight for free for you. And I said, no, that's not how it works here. If you're gonna fight, we'll pay you.
Any interest?
The biggest person. I would love to do at some point Ruotolo versus Gordon Ryan. That would be a very intriguing matchup for me.
Grappling. Yeah. All right.
Although Ty and Cade both want to do MMA as well. But if you look at skill set, again, just stripping away all the credentials and all the marketing hype and rhetoric, if you look at the brothers like Cade and Ty Ruotolo, pure athleticism, pure skill set cardio, you look at their technique, their skill set, they are, arguably pound for pound the greatest grapplers on the planet alongside Mikey Musumeci. And that's why we signed them.
On the card, yeah.
Yes, you could say Gordon is a heavyweight and et cetera, but I can make the argument, again, as a guy who's been jiu-jitsu for many years, I look at the skill set of Cade and Ty, raw skill set. Forget again about credentials and achievements, because sometimes that can be deceiving. It depends on who you fought, who was missing that year in that tournament, or whatever it is. There's many ways to, of course, I think Gordon is up there, but I don't subscribe to the fact that there's only one in a sport that's so young, and in a sport where there's a lot of people using steroids.
Yes, that is true. Yes.
So I know for 100% fact, Cade and Thai are 100% clean and natural, as is Mikey Musumeci, which is why we signed them.
Right, okay.
They are the best in the world at what they do, and they're clean.
Okay. Say no more. One last one. We saw this past weekend that, boxing, we just came out with the news, 1.2 million buys for Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, which is tremendous. We see two promoters, two networks coming together. Would one ever be open to co-promotion, whether it's with a Ryzen, a Bellator? Like, would you ever be open or no?
Only UFC.
Only UFC.
Look, again, if you look at the largest players in the combat sports industry, pure facts and figures, forget about marketing.
Yeah.
Pure facts and figures. The Nielsen Industry Report, if you're a fan, you don't know anything, go see how many followers one has. We have 70 million social media followers globally when you include China and stuff. And I think UFC has 100 million plus. It's very clear there's two big giants, one in the East and one in the West. And I truly believe in our talent. And I don't look at it, again, from a pure, like, how much marketing hype, who's good on social media, et cetera, right? Again, a lot can be, how can I say, mismarketed as this guy is amazing. But actually, he's actually not that great of a fighter, but he's amazing on Twitter. He's amazing at self-promotion. And that can get lost in the shuffle, especially with a casual or mainstream fan. But in one, I can tell you, every single person in these different disciplines are the best on the planet. That's the purest in me, right? That's like, okay, yes, I'm a businessman, I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm a lifelong martial artist. And like I said, there's no amount of money that, if someone offered me $10 billion to buy one, that doesn't motivate me. I'm a very simple guy. I don't have like Ferraris, or I have one car, a Toyota. I don't have material things. My life is not driven by material things. My happiest times in life is when I'm training Muay Thai or when I'm doing jiu-jitsu. That's the happiest, 2 hours of my day, every day.
Well, you're going to get a chance to watch some great jiu-jitsu, some great Muay Thai, some great MMA on May 5th, 11 fights total. One Fight Night 10, Johnson Moraes 3, there's the poster right over there. Broomfield, Colorado, First Bank Center, 7 MMA bouts, 2 grappling bouts, 2 Muay Thai bouts, headlined by the great Demetrious Johnson against Adrian Moraes, number 3. Maybe the last time we ever see Demetrious, first time we see Sage Northcutt in 3-4 years, which is incredible as well. In addition to everyone else, a great night of fights on Amazon Prime. If you're a subscriber, you get it. No extra fees, right?
It's live and free for Amazon Prime customers. Live and free. And I think they have 200 million subscribers, something like that. So if everyone who has Amazon, come watch it. Blow out the numbers for me, please.
Yes, May 5th in Broomfield. Now, when you come to our house here, we always appreciate it. And this new thing that we've been doing is playing a game of darts with our in-studio guest. Do you like darts?
I haven't played since, I don't know, a teenager.
You're not an excuses kind of guy, right?
No,
So we do 3 versus 3.
Okay.
These are the standings right now. Sky Nicholson, the Olympic boxer, got a 93. She's number 1. And I have beaten everyone but her, Chatri. I've beaten Jack Shore. I've beaten Chael Sonnen. We've got more people. Eddie Hearn, the great boxing promoter, joined us. Do we have the rest of the standings or just the top 3? Oh, there we go. DJ, I smoked him last week. You see, he only got an 18. Poor DJ. So perhaps for one championship,
let's do it. Let's do it.
You can raise the numbers. Here we go. Me versus Chatri. Let's go. Let's see how you fare. And we're very kind.
Right here.
It's right
okay,
over
got
here.
It.
You're very kind.
Okay.
We're very kind. We give you a practice shot.
Okay.
Just because different.
Meanwhile,
elements.
you've been practicing all
Listen,
day.
I mean, this is home field advantage. I let you choose.
Okay.
All right, you want the blue?
So I get one practice.
This is the line right over here.
Okay, got it.
One practice shot just to.
Oh, that's hard. Where
was that? Where was it? Oh, on the
that's
wall.
Terrible, yes.
I mean, a little.
Okay, got
a little higher. But I felt the force though. That was powerful.
I got it.
So here you go, 3, and we'll add up your score, and then we add up my score, right? And by the way, you can't cross the line, okay? No cheating. Right? So behind the line. If I win, do I perhaps get to compete on the card? Like what? Maybe I can get some sort of one championship deal, placement, contract. No, all right, just throwing it out there. Here we go, Chatri. First shot. Okay, a lot softer on that one. A 6, it appears, for the founder. Ooh, look at that. That was nice. Okay, wow. I think you were hustling me. Okay, so I thought you got a bullseye there. That's a 3. Here we go with a 6 and a 6. So 12.
Only
and
DJ.
15.
Worse than DJ.
Worse than DJ. Yes. Okay. Here's my turn. Are you nervous?
A little.
Okay. Well, you don't want to lose to like
what is the technique? Because I almost tried like the whole basketball.
So
I feel like you're gonna need the whole wrist flick.
I've been told you put the foot
Wow.
like this. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Well, listen, I have a lot of people writing to me and telling me, so you put the foot like this, but I couldn't give you all the secrets. I gave you the extra shot. And so here we go, Chatri.
Oh, you do a little wrist flick. You do that whole wrist flick thing.
What was that? 16?
Man.
Oh, I almost got it in there. So 6 plus 16, 22, 29.
You're the man.
You're
the man, buddy.
It's the only athletic thing that I could probably beat you at. A little old-fashioned game of darts. May 5th, Amazon Prime, Broomfield, Colorado, First Bank Center, Demetrious Johnson's potential last fight, plus a whole host of other great fights.
American fans who have Amazon Prime, let's blow it up. Record viewership ever.
I can't wait. And it's on our time zone. That's fantastic. Good luck to you guys. Really appreciate you coming in as always.
Thanks again.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to take a quick break.